I am off to an important meeting. It's a beautiful morning, and I was thinking about 23rd Psalm, and it's a staple. We all know it. And I was looking at how, I read it in church. That was my assignment in church, and it blessed me. Thank God for my church. And I looked at it real quick because I want to know the context. So when I read it like it was intended. And maybe I knew it before, maybe I didn't. That's why it's good to read. And when I was reading it, and I found out that I realized when I took out my phone, like secretly, I take out my phone secretly in my Bible when I'm in church on the pulpit. And I did this, and I looked at the context of the 23rd Psalm, and it was while David was on the run, he had a defeat. He was chased from the throne by his son Absalom after his failure to protect his daughter Tamar, and after, of course, the prophet told him that this would happen to him after he outraged Bathsheba and killed her husband Uriah. And even though this man had sinned and he failed over and over, and he did a horrible thing that was publicly known because Bathsheba's grandfather was one of his generals, so it was known, and he was under the shame of the thing. Yet still, God paid him back. So even though we do wrong and God is paying us back, what the devil uses these snags of our character, which is why when I'm reading Leviticus, it tells the people repeatedly that they should live holy and gives the prescription for it, which is distilled in the Great Commandment. In any case, David had these snags, and what the devil tries to do is to use these snags, these failures, these errors of ours, to see if he can use God's correction to separate us from God, to make us feel that we're no good or just give up, because what's the use, because things are happening to us anyway. But David, who I always pondered about, what did he mean by encouraging himself in the Lord? And the 23rd Psalm is that, because even though he was us, he was embarrassed, he was in shame, his own child chased him from his palace. No one else could do this, but his own child did. Sometimes correction comes from in the home. His own child did, but David encouraged himself in the Lord, said these words. In the midst of his dilemma, the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. And in the midst of our problems, let us not forget, the Lord is your shepherd, he shall not want. He leadeth you beside the still waters. Though this man was fighting. And he said at the end that thou preparest a table before him in the presence of his enemies. And that enemy was his child and the army. And he said, thou anointest my head with oil. He said these things, that this is what's going to happen. He was not leaving the Lord. And if you're going through your difficulties, your troubles, even if you're guilty, don't let go. The Lord is your shepherd, and you shall not want. Amen. Amen.